Hey there, folks. We actually are going to change it up a little bit today. Um, because we are missing some players, we aren't going to do a full normal session. However, as those folks who have been watching know, we have been doing quite a few runs as our good buddy Vidar Lycrin has been trying to bond himself to Ryentalia. So what I'm doing right now is I am trying to get a scene set up for us to use over here in our session. If you want to, I can broadcast while I'm actually doing that, or I can leave you all here, and I could probably yeah, everything is fine. Leave you all without here on the countdown screen while I get this stuff set up so you're not seeing all kinds of crazy stuff move around in OBS. Let me know in chat what you want to do. It will be ugly, ugly, ugly as I get everything put together, but more than happy to have you all watch if you're feeling neglected out there. It shouldn't take too long as I get this all up and going. I just need to find all the different fun things. What are y'all saying out there? Crazy's fine. Used to it by that's true, truly, right? You guys know that I'm not a pro streamer at all. So let's see. Let me at least get some video up. Let's see. Top center. You actually aren't captured yet, Kyle. What are they saying out there? Fernando. Yes. Okay. Well, we're almost there to have something. Oh, of course, you all were being captured. My voice is being captured while I was talking to Kyle. So we're almost, yeah, because I'm a pro streamer. I kind of think that like I've got push to talk, but I really don't. So, okay, let's just transition over because this is silly. There we go.
There
Ta-da!
we go.
Because otherwise, it's just silly. Let me get my things done and things. Hey, folks. Yeah, don't mind me as I suddenly have to put together a two-person thing that has the right graphics behind it. And like even get a filter on my screen and all that kind of stuff. Where's my chroma key? There it is.
Oh, I may as well put on my green screen for this.
Oh,
I
don't
might
worry
as well.
about it. We'll be fine.
Ah, okay, we'll be good.
Yeah. Don't. I mean, it's up to you. You are more than welcome to. We're doing it live.
Doing it live.
So, golly, let's get you some actual real size name here. There we go.
All right.
So, here we go. We are going to do stuff and things. Welcome to the Vice. It is just me and our good buddy, Dragons or Cats. Dragons or Cats, tell people who you are, where they can find you.
Hello,
Who you
everyone. I
play.
am Dragon. I am Dragons and Cats, and you can find me across the Twitch and the Twitters as Dragons and Cats, and I'll be playing Vidar Lycran, our Hexblade Warlock of the Spheres. currently chasing after the patron Ryentalia, the Burnished Star, and her approval through these challenges she's been presenting before me. Currently, been doing a bang up failure of a job.
Yeah, it's been pretty rough.
It's
Uh, okay, really rough type idea. I mean,
rough is an understatement.
it's been bad. It's just been bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can spin through some of the old roles. There was some ugliness for sure. Um, you know what? I need to get my our. Let's see if I've got rolls up here. Even good night. Roll 20 chat. There it is. Dude. Um, so. Uh, so we can at least have some rolls showing for us. Okay. And anyway, so that's good enough. I think this is good enough.
That's good enough.
Let me make this a little bit smaller, the rolls, just so because people, so people can actually see what's going on. I'm gonna put these rolls right above your head. How about that? Because
Yeah, let's broadcast every net one I get.
well, because you've been so good at them lately,
I've been so good. It's so good.
so very. So, yeah. So we're gonna do this thing. Do it live. As our good friend Vidar Lycrin, a little bit out of order in our actual story, has relinquished, our Hexblade Warlock has relinquished their sword, Lysithia, their oldest, truly dearest friend, and decided instead to try to bond to Ryentalia, this sword that has been wielded by multiple of the big bads of our campaign. And basically to try to heal her in some way or another, as she has been neglected, turned evil, always was never a very nice person, but all those good things. Our good friend Vidar wants to somehow redeem her, cure her, bring her back into the fold of the Blades of the Spheres. These three deities that he rescued from a sphere that had been shattered, a world that he had been on, that he had lived a very long 1,200-year life on in his previous form. And instead of letting these three deities, one of the moon, one of the sun, and one of the earth, die there on that world, he basically absconded with them, put them in his ring of the Frost Prince, and took them with him to then take him to a crafter of the Forge of the Spheres to bind their sort of fading deity forms into these three weapons: the double-bladed axe Von Malak of the earth, the long curved scimitar Latu type blade of Lysithia the moon, and this great sword of the sun, Ryentalia. Currently, Ryentalia has sulkingly become the form. First it was a rock, then was basically like a flint knife, then was a small dagger. Now has become sort of a stiletto as he has run through these challenges and trying to have her become his Hexblade patron by bonding to her. With any normal magical weapon, it basically is you do an hour ritual and it bonds you, and that's now your Pact of the Blade weapon. However, with sentient weapons, it's a bit more of an ordeal, which our good friend Vidar is discovering. So, I think with that, let me move you over to our screen. We will follow Vidar as he closes his eyes into his elven trance-like state and enters once again into this realm of Ryentalia, this dreamscape place where he is going to attempt once again to make her his bound, packed weapon and hexblade patron. Vidar, as you find yourself on a familiar landscape, this truly hellscape of heat as and broken glass shards of stone devoid of life. Across from you, over a ridge, you see these sort of umbras of heat far on the horizon. You know Ryentalia, as she has done 5 times before while you have tried to succeed at this ritual, is coming over the ridge. And the first thing that happens is you are assaulted by this wave of heat, like a blast furnace. Even though she has not come over the horizon yet, just the fact that she is approaching has basically put you in this place and subjected to her heat and her wrath. I need you to make me a willpower saving throw.
Not bad for the first one of the night. 17.
Hey! A 6-pack of advantages for Dar. Unfortunately, Hawkeye, we are not. He's not allowed to use donations during this trial. If you'd like them to stay for Vidar, that's fine. If you'd like us to distribute them to the whole party, that'd be great. But yeah, we're letting the dice tell the story on this one. But thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much. But there is no saving grace from this hellscape.
As you land in this place, the heat hits you once again. It is broiling away, unlike many other times, sometimes where you've been able to resist it. As you dive once again into this place, it's still this first blast of heat takes you off guard. You feel the hairs on your head, your eyebrows begin to singe as the heat does in fact get to you. It penetrates into your lungs, into the air that you breathe. Your mouth becomes dry. You see the ridge in front of you and Ryentalia on the horizon, getting ready to rise.
Okay.
How would you like to proceed?
Vidar is going to cover it. Going to raise his arm up to cover his eyes a little bit so he can see down the ground before him, and he's going to try to find the best path that he can take and go for a full-on sprint to try and make his way towards the ridge.
Okay. As you go sprinting forward, doing a dash across this landscape, it is terrible terrain. It's as though even as you are running, parts of it are eroding away from you as these black glass jagged rocks almost reach out and try to slice your legs open. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw at disadvantage as the heat is affecting you.
On a 10.
On a 10, you stumble and fall and get back up and fall again. By all that is said and done, you are crawling and have only made it probably about 30 feet in your dash. And you find yourself, surprisingly, still a third of the way to the ridge.
Okay. Being this closer to the ground and being able to see the ridge, I'm going to try to find the safest path possible. Take and try to take it slowly, even though I know Ryentalia is going to come and burn me to a crisp if I don't make it in time. But it's that being on the ground that and being all injured that drives him to take it more carefully.
Okay.
What seems to be 1,000 feet away could be just 10 feet away.
Before you get started, I need you to make a willpower saving throw at disadvantage as the heat continues. Oh, on a natural one.
Soldiers.
Perhaps it's because you're on your hands and your knees and this surface is baked so hot. You just feel both sides of you from above and below being just tortured by this heat. In front of you, as you look up, getting ready to pick your path through this, you see Ryentalia's far beginning of the arch of her actual form rising above you. And as you said you're going to take it slower this time?
Yeah. Didn't realize how bad it was going to be, though.
Yeah, on a natural one, unfortunately, you still will be at disadvantage. However, if the heat were not bothering you so much, you feel as though you might... if you pick your way carefully, it might not be as bad, but every time you put your hands or your knees down or anything, it's like you're putting them on a skillet. You can hear your flesh sizzle. You can smell the burning. Go ahead and do me that dexterity save at disadvantage, please.
Oh, no.
On a 7. This is not going well. As you crawl forward, picking your way, you look back up and you don't appear to be any closer than you were when you started. The sun blares down on you. While you were crawling, it's as almost Ryentalia has almost come halfway up into the sky, and her fury is unleashed. Go ahead and do me another willpower saving throw at disadvantage.
I'm gonna try to stand up and just yell out, "Oh, come on!"
On another nat 1, you stand up and almost just raise your arm out and just in frustration and fury as the flesh is just eroded from your bones and you fall backwards and find yourself back in the real world in your ritual circle, cast out from the dream. Go ahead and roll me go ahead and roll me that hit die to see how much what kind of mark this has left upon you.
I'm gonna say it's an 11. Close enough.
On a 10, please reduce your maximum hit points by 10. And describe to me how this has, if and how it has left its mark on you.
Oh, in all seriousness, this is a whole lot of third-degree burns over his skin. At first, it was just his left hand that had been really damaged by third-degree burns, mostly from holding the Ryentalia rock and the first time coming into the area. Yeah, the rest of him is just coming singed, like melting away.
Yes, you look down and you can see sort of these, where before there had been sort of like almost these deep brands, it is now almost over your whole body that you see that your skin has become toughened, almost like leather. Not true full burn scar tissue, but damaged.
So we're on the fast track of death. We're gonna try again over the course of the next night.
Okay.
While we're traveling.
Yep. So You
And it's mostly he spends this time by himself before coming back the next day,
yeah,
while
this
the
is
others are resting.
as you all are. The party is traveling to Sojourns. You continue almost what I think you were saying. You basically do them every sunrise. As the sun rises in the real world after only needing your 4 hours of rest before the rest of the party awakes, or as Luna is off her doing her morning exercises and routine, and a new morning dawns. Anything special you would like to do before prepping to go into this once again?
I'd like to pick up a shield. I have a shield with me.
Okay.
I'd like to ask for a bless from, if it will affect whatsoever. I have no idea yet. A bless from Luna.
Okay.
And that will be it.
Okay. You go over and Luna sort of looks at you and sort of closes her eyes and takes a moment. I don't think that she has that stuff learned. I'm gonna check her character sheet real quick.
I thought you did.
Let me check.
Oh, good.
Luna, with a quick look at you, can see with her medicine, can see the toll that this is beginning to take on you. Before, it was not that necessary. It's literally you had rolled a 4 every single time. But this time, she can definitely see. And so she does. She places her hand on you, grabs her sphere of the tides, and casts bless on you for whatever good it might do.
Fingers crossed.
Okay.
Then as soon as they all go to sleep, bam, it's back into the vision.
And yeah, so you kneel down, because how long? Let me look how long bless lasts. I don't even know. I think it's an hour, or is it only is it only a minute?
It could be an hour, could be a minute. It could be a waste of time.
Let me just check.
Yeah,
I got to remember. I'm used to having everything right at my fingertips. Bless. Action. Duration. Concentration up to 1 minute.
Yeah, all good. Doesn't matter.
Okay. So, you kneel down in your prepared area. Ryentalia ahead of you, laying on the ground in front of you, and you reach out your consciousness once again. You find yourself in that familiar spot, a place you've now been 6 times before, looking across the plain. You see upon the horizon that ridge in front of you, the heat waves making it very indistinct of how far away it is. That sort of etherealness to your form that you recall from your last times. However, the very real danger of these jagged rocks, sharpened like glass and razors in front of you. You take a moment, and that first wave of blast furnace heat hits you. Do me a willpower save.
Come on. Oh.
On a 20. At first you think it's going to overcome you, but you brace yourself, and you resist. Ryentalia's first onslaught. How would you like to proceed?
I'm going to cast Jump on myself, and he's going to, with all the confidence in the world now, just from getting first past this first blast, is going to do not a long jump, but like um, empowered steps, and to
Okay.
just get as far to just boost his way forward as
Since you're
quickly as
being
possible.
careful, go ahead and do me a perception check to see how well you judge these sort of moon steps.
13.
On a 13, this is a tough terrain to judge. And as you are leaping from place to place, you do need to make me a dexterity saving throw. On a 24, you actually land these jumps and find yourself a third of the way closer to Ryentalia, the ridge and her rising form. As you land that last jump, that first rim begins to come above the edge, and as the heat builds on this plane, I need you to make me another willpower saving throw.
I'm on the duh.
On a natural 20,
Finally.
you, having both landed and resisted, you are feeling confident. You are feeling prepared. How would you like to proceed towards the ridge?
It's just one final leap as he just sees the obsidian glass shards sticking up out of the ground, feel the heat coming on. He just takes a deep, hot breath in, burning his lungs in the meantime, and just leaps on over and lands superhero style on the ridge.
Do me a dexterity saving throw at disadvantage as you get cocky.
I'm gonna donate this sweater. Fuck me.
Wow. So, you land like a superhero with the double nat 20s. Even at disadvantage, you are throwing off big Vidar energy as you land, and you find yourself 2/3 of the way to the ridge. And with that landing, you do find yourself not out completely in her eye as the center of Ryentalia comes up over the ridge. Do me a charisma saving throw. As you feel the heat, I will allow you, as time is weird in this place. Would you like to use a d4 from Luna?
Please.
Roll a d4. On a 22,
Oh, thank you, Luna.
how would you like to proceed? As you begin to feel that heat and you feel as though your eyebrows are singeing, and there's almost like this cool wave that flows over top of you and cools your skin and helps you to resist.
Put my left hand up, splayed out, and kind of duck my head behind it as I push forward, just as to fight against the heat. Also hold that hand out to send each wave that comes against it. It's the blessing from Luna, kind of, what's the word? Consolidates around and helps me push through. And I basically just say out loud, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this.
You walk up the hill, hand outstretched in front of you. And each step, it's strange. It's Sometimes a step feels like it takes you 5 feet closer. Sometimes it feels like it takes you 50 feet closer as that weird shimmering happens. And you suddenly, as you push forward and your hand is almost coming into contact with the surface of this sun that is now fully above the ridge, you close your eyes and keep pushing forward, that searing heat on your hand, and then it cools. As you have experienced before, it passes through this illusion, and you step through this illusionary vision of Ryentalia and stand on a ridge. As you turn around behind you, you can see the fury and wrath of Ryentalia scourging the land that you were once on behind you. Previous times you had seen your own blood and flesh evaporating and smoking away, this time having left none. You look back, empowered almost by this raw, sheer domination that Ryentalia has, and that you pretty much waltzed through it this time unscathed. As you have stepped through, you look down from the ridge, now true Ryentalia, the star of this system, up over your head. Ahead of you, you see this steep scree slope, almost 85 degrees. I mean, all but vertical, as it is going downwards into this vertical shaft that you have fallen through and died from multiple times, but once made it to the bottom. Almost 400 feet deep, this vertical well and shaft that leads down into the protected caverns below. How would you like to proceed?
Did that shield that I picked up end up coming with me?
There is no shield with you.
Can I try to summon a shield?
You can certainly try. Roll me an Arcana check. You cannot summon a shield.
He just breathes. He just sighs and goes, "So much for mountain sliding." And he's going to cast his gaze down and try to find the best possible route to slowly basically to quickly but slowly descend, trying to find the closest cavern tunnel, while also trying to not go terminal velocity and fall to his death.
Yep. As you have experienced before, as you've stepped through this illusion, your body now becomes almost like it is corporeal. The weight of this high gravity world pulling down on you, and you know how treacherous and dangerous this is. As we've done before, you can only use each skill once. So knowing what skill, survival, perception, or other skill would you like to use to try to find that path?
Let's use survival.
Go ahead and roll me a survival check.
7.
On a 7, you look down, and while you have traversed this before, it seems as though the pattern has changed below you. You cannot see those same landmarks that you saw before. How would you like to proceed?
We're just gonna have to be careful as we go down the hill.
Okay.
There's no, unless would casting Dimension Door get me there quicker, or be able to get me there?
You have tried these things before. You certainly can try them again.
Alright. I will not use a Dimension Door. I will save that for when I'm falling.
Okay.
And I'm going to slowly begin to basically get down on my butt, legs forward, and try to have a controlled slide as I'm going down.
Okay. You roll me a dexterity saving throw as you try to control your descent.
24.
On a 24, as you are sliding down, it is going better than you were expected. At first, you think you should aim for one of these ledges, but you know that when you go to a ledge, that leaves you baking in the sun. So you continue sort of scooting on your butt forward, inching your way down, the scree seeming to hold you, you being able to dig in just deep enough that you don't go sort of head over tea kettle, but also continue this forward motion. You traverse the first part of this successfully.
It only took how many tries? And then I get to a tunnel. And I do the
Oh, you're
same.
not to the tunnel. You're still up on the Scree Hill.
No.
Oh, you've only gone about a third of the way down the Scree Hill. There's still about 1,000 feet to go on the Scree before you're to the vertical shaft.
Oh no, I just keep going then.
Okay. Roll me another dexterity saving throw. It is not disadvantage because you did so well. You do not have any momentum at this time, so.
I do now.
You do now. As you start to scoot further, you start to scramble as the scree starts to give way, and you start sliding faster and faster, heading towards this drop-off that you know is deadly without some way to mitigate it.
All right. I'm going to just start panicking. No. I'm going to use Ryentalia, the stiletto of Ryentalia, to try to dig into the screen and try to find some purchase, while also trying to aim for a tunnel. Or look for one.
Yeah, the tunnel's there before you. It is looming before you. There is no missing it. This is a giant drain. You are heading that direction. The question is how ugly it's going to be. As you go digging right out, give me a strength saving throw to try to dig in Ryentalia and stop you. On an 18, she is acting somewhat as a tiller and an anchor, so you will not have disadvantage on this next dexterity saving throw. On a 14, you are not able to slow yourself down, and you go right off the end of this and find yourself hanging midair and beginning to fall over this vertical shaft that leads down to the caverns below. You are falling.
Okay, I throw Ryentalia.
Throw her where?
Wait. Throw her down the shaft.
You throw Ryentalia down the shaft.
Hold on. Am I going down the shaft?
Yes, you are falling down the shaft.
Okay, wonderful. I throw Ryentalia down the shaft, and I use the principle of I wait for her to ting, and then I count the seconds before she tings, and then at that time after I hear her hit the ground, I'll use Dimension Door to try to supplement the distance.
Okay. As you start to fall, you're going faster and faster. You know this will be a horrible splat if you hit bottom. You listen. You listen. You listen. Closer, closer. Your hair blowing up behind you. Finally, ting. And as your reaction, bam, you open a dimension door. And you find yourself laying on the stone floor below in this cavern.
I reach out and grab Ryentalia. Thank you. I roll out of the sunlight.
Where is this? I guess we'll have to use this. Sorry, I don't have all my normal things set up down here for That night fog isn't going to really work. What do we got here? Doot. Nope. I guess night fog is just going to have to work. We'll use night fog.
Night fog will work. Night fog's cute.
You find yourself down below, underneath the surface of your old home, the world in which you rescued these gods from, from this shattered sphere. It is a huge cavern, sort of a rippling blue light down there. Piercing through it, these columns of fiery, all but white hot light. Wherever it touches within the cavern, you can see any liquid of these small ponds that are down there evaporating, almost instantly boiling away. It is vast and calm, beautiful, and familiar in a haunting way. It is dark, almost worse than darkness because of these columns of light all but burn your retinas to then when you look to the dark places, you can't see anything.
I was going to roll on out of beam of sunlight.
Yep. You roll out of the sunlight just before it starts to crisp you again, even down here at this level.
Keep far away from those columns of light. And I cast my glance and look around, and I dismiss Ryentalia, the blade.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put her away.
You see Ryentalia become ethereal and then remain with you.
And I'm just gonna put her in the little sheath on the small of my back, where I usually keep her.
You place her in the sheath.
Crack the knuckles. 1,200 years of living in caverns, huh? Let's see if this goes a bit smoother this time. And I'm going to waddle through the darkness in search of any of those little bodies of water.
There are quite a few of them. Roll me a perception check, as you do have witch sight, or whatever we've called it, your moon sight, your warlock seeing in through magical darkness. You can roll perception with advantage.
A walk in the park. Finally.
Yep.
On a 20.
On a 20, yeah, there's quite a few of these pools around you. You can see some that have been recently boiled away that, for whatever reason, went from being in shadow to now being exposed in one of these columns of light as they pierce down into this high vaulted cavern space, larger than a football stadium. You know that once this would be sort of where people would make settlements or cities in order to stay clear of Ryentalia's wrath up above.
I'm going to make my way and try to find the body of water and speak out to the cavern while I do.
Okay.
You can come out. Hello? I'm going to walk on over to puddle of water that's been in darkness, and I'm going to attempt to drink it this time. I'm just going to cup it in my hands, and
you reach down and you drink it. It is clear, refreshing after the heat up above. And as you do, you see the eye shine off of two small eyes in front of you.
As I'm drinking, I meet the eyes, have another drink, scoop my hands back down into the water, and bring some water up for the eyes.
The eyes sort of inside of the pond kind of look at you sort of questioningly.
Oh, it's in the pond.
And sort of lift up water there for itself, sort of back mirroring you. You know this to be one of the shadow hoppers, the semi-sentient life forms of this planet that were often kept as, I won't say kept, often lived as honored guests within many people's settlements and homes. Basically, very much like a domesticated dog, but with a higher level of vocabulary and sentience, but still not fully verbal or be able to use language. They look very much like a anthropomorphic otter, but with very large eyes adapted to the darkness.
Okay, so since it's mimicking me, I will then drink my water and splash myself with some water as well.
It drinks its water and then sort of dives underneath and then comes up and sort of shakes itself, sending water pretty much all over, and then kind of cocks its head at you again.
I'm gonna chuckle. Just like, this is much better than the first time. Hello, could you help me? I need to make my way through these caverns. Something bad's going to happen soon.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Okay.
On a 15, when it hears you say the word bad, it reacts almost viscerally to it, and its head dives back under the water, and you can see ripples as it's swimming away from you, as it seems to have somehow felt admonished or something in some way.
Damn it. Well, looks like I'm just going to have to find the place myself. I'm going to put my head under the water and then shout into the water. You need to get your burrow to move. I'm going to pull my head out of the water.
You should try to speak underwater.
Vidal's going to then get up and try to find the closest cavern that is kind of
Do me a perception check.
Yeah, that's in the same sort of general direction as where that pool is. So here's the perception for you. Oh, did that roll?
On an 18. You look around, but as soon as you stand up and sort of turn around, you almost hear a laughing chittering from the far side of the pond as you flip your hair back, dripping wet, and after trying to speak underwater.
Ah, there you are. So I'm going to get up. I'm going to walk around or through the pond, whatever's easiest.
You can walk around.
Okay, I'm going to walk around the pond and head towards it, but I'm going to be very slow. I'm going to be very non-threatening.
Roll me a stealth check as you try to just move slowly and carefully, trying not to spook.
Come on, Vidar. Oh my god.
On a natural 20. You move with a grace almost Celia-like as you come around, and you see this, as you actually navigate a few slippier spots, it sort of seems almost waiting in anticipation, almost waiting to see a pratfall as you would slip and fall and splash into the water. And you don't. And it looks at you again, sort of reassessing this humanoid in front of you.
It's going to be. It's going to be okay. Could you help me?
Roll me. Oh, go ahead.
Can you show me to safety?
Roll me a persuasion with advantage.
Oh my God.
On a 23. You see it sort of look up you, and then look down, look up again, and you see it scamper about 50 feet away, and then you see its eyes look back at you over its shoulder, waiting for you to follow.
I follow.
You follow this otter-like creature through a series of caverns, and you realize quickly there's no rhyme nor reason to be intuitively find this place. If you were not guided, it is not somewhere that you would ever be able to find again. And after about 15 or 20 minutes of following this creature, it waiting for you each time there's anything to overcome, you arrive again at a familiar cavern from a previous vision. It is not nearly as large as the other one, but still fairly large. It is dominated by a central pool. All around it, there are probably 2 to 3 dozen of these shafts of just white-hot light bearing down into this cavern. And as you look up, knowing what to look for again, you do see spider-like cracks in the roof between these columns above this central pool. You look back down and see this small creature, this shadow hopper, dart through all of the different shafts of light and jump into the pond, and you can see it ripple away in the pond. Even though you have magical vision, again, but there's difference between the brightness and darkness. There's very difficult to see. You're now relying more on hearing and your knowledge from your previous time here.
So I'm going to slowly keep an ear out for, try to follow the path and judge their movements, slowly make my way in and around through.
Roll me a survival check to see if you can figure out a path.
Okay. On a 10.
On a 10, you sort of wind your way forward, and as this switch between light and darkness becomes so confusing, you do find yourself brushing through one of these beams of sunlight. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Hey, look at that.
On
You're
a
going
27,
well,
you did very well. And you will only take half of this.
Friends, it's become a real thing. Da is now a glass cannon.
You take 20 points of fire damage as you brush against this column. Having been in this cool place and unprepared for it, it sort of scorches down your back, and you feel this fiery heat along your whole backside. But you do arrive at the pond. You hear chittering of this strange shadow hopper language that you have before. There seems to be disagreement of voices, and as you stand there, you hear it going back and forth between the two, and you hear other voices from around the cavern as well beginning to echo and chime in as the discussion gets louder and louder.
Okay, so at the burning of the skin, he's going to audibly gasp in pain before he continues over, hearing the discussion. And he's going to... It is in Vidar's nature to intrude on a discussion. So he's going to walk up and he's going to say, I understand, I really do, but this is not the time. And he points up, sending off some blue glitter with prestidigitation, just swirl around him to get attention.
Do me a persuasion check.
Come on, Vidar.
On a 12. You see them look towards the roof and see you pointing towards the sky, and you hear more chittering from around you, and you see a familiar shadow hopper from before, the larger one, go hopping by you and running towards the pool, and with a shard of black glass, and points to it, and points to the sky, and points to you. And you hear the tension change.
Come on. It's not the time to fight. You need to move.
Do me... Oh, go ahead.
We need to get out of here. We all need to survive.
Do me a strength saving throw at disadvantage, as this takes you by surprise. On a 6, you feel yourself being spun around. And as you are spun and your back is towards these creatures, you hear an audible gasp.
Hello?
As you wonder what they're gasping at, you realize that the clothes and the sheath on your back were burned away by the column, and Ryentalia is visible. They all leap to attack.
Literally just sighs at that.
Roll me initiative.
It's going to be a very quick, again on the low initiative. This is going to be a very quick death.
On a 17, yeah, they go first. And as I've said before, you just suddenly get swarmed by all of these, leaping from all sorts of different corners, running towards you, trying to attack you, to defend their home that you have invaded and brought Ryentalia here with you. You take 49 points of slashing, biting, and barb damage from their tails. As
Can I cast a shield spell as a reaction?
this is not, I mean, sure, I'll let you cast a shield spell. You cast shield, I will say it's like making the saving throw since these are actual attacks. So instead of you will take 24 points of slashing damage.
Thank you, because I would have died otherwise. I would have been very close to death. I wouldn't have died.
You take 24 points of slashing damage. Roll me a perception check as you cast shield, and so you are somewhat protected instead of completely overwhelmed, protecting like your eyes and things.
Hey!
Yep.
Oh, God.
You noticed that they all, no matter what direction they came from, they all avoided those shafts of light.
Neat. Damn it. In my sight leading up to this moment as well, could I see that beyond the pond that they were in, that if there was a tunnel or if there was a cavern above?
No, not really. I mean, again, with that difference of light and shadow, it is tough to see because it is completely surrounded by these columns. So to see across the pond through the columns and then to see into the darkness beyond it is just beyond your visual acuity. It is, however, it's your go.
This is gonna go so well. I can't use a healing dice. I can't drink a potion. I don't believe I can. Nope. Okay. So okay. Can I cast the blur spell? To help me try to avoid these attacks, if possible.
Sure.
I'm trying to let them know I'm not trying to engage them in combat, but I am trying to get out of the way of their attacks and say we need to move away from the roof.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to communicate to them, and I'm going to.
Blur is, you go in and out of.
No, it's blink. So blur is basically become very. Body becomes blurred, and so they have disadvantage against attack rolls and stuff.
Okay, I basically what it will do will lower the DC of the dexterity saving throw.
Oh, thanks.
As they're just attacking in a crazed way. Do you plan on moving? Do you have a bonus action?
I don't have any bonus action spells, I believe. Truly, I don't really have any bonus action spells, I believe. Yeah, no, I do not. I will just jump. Try to jump away from them into the sky and just try to leap over the first body of these creatures if I can.
You leap. Roll me, as there are all these columns that are down in here. Roll me a.
I want to try.
You can roll me an acrobatics check to see if you can jump without, again, on this slippery floor to not slide into one of the columns.
What, natural 1? Watch this. No, an 18's fine.
On an 18, you leap and you sort of do that, and squeeze by, do a sort of juke one way, sort of a spin the other. However, their onslaught continues as more and more come out of everywhere, pretty much, and begin to attack you. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Come on, Vidar. 16.
On a 16, with the blur spell, that will you do dodge quite a few of their attacks. However, I rolled really, really well. You take 32 points of slashing, biting, and barb damage from their tails.
Damn it. Gosh damn it. Ugh. I can't do anything about this. Vidal's gonna lose and die this one.
You again notice none of them. They all avoid the light.
Yeah, but if I stand in the light, I'm gonna burn. Is there a column of light near the main pool that they stood in?
There's columns of light everywhere.
Okay. Did I make it any closer to where they, whether that discussion was coming from, essentially?
Yeah, all but right next to it. I mean, there are, again, these columns of light are encroaching on their pool. In fact, you can see where there's probably one little, inlet of the pool that has already been evaporated by where one has landed in the pool itself and boiled away a part of, sort of a little inlet of the pool.
Okay. Is there a cavern that leads out from here anyway? Like up on top or down below that I can see?
You would have to investigate the whole wall of this, which would take time. Time that you don't have in the middle of this combat.
No, because we're gonna die. And I'm surrounded on all fronts.
That's the problem. Attacks have come from every direction. As this cavern seems to be their home. As you have been attacked, you can hear sort of the cries and crying of whatever of these creatures have not joined the attack and are in fear in this pond, sheltering the young and those either too old or who chose not to fight and try to defend this person, this interloper who has come here with Ryentalia and pointed towards the sky, them not understanding. Pale Lord. What would you like to do?
I would like to dimension door back out of the cavern completely. Back the way I came.
Okay.
I would like to bamf on out and just get out of there completely.
Like back to the original cavern, or back the best 500 feet backwards. You're probably not going to get all the way back there because you wound around for 15 or 20 minutes before you got there, but you can certainly get out of this area of columns and light.
Yeah.
As you're kind of doing this blind, do me an Arcana check. I know it's to a place you're familiar with, so let's just do an Arcana check to see how you do on landing this. 23. On a 23, you dimension door back. That's your third spell, yeah?
Yeah, that's it.
Yep, that's it.
Spells. I still do have the 6th level spells.
Yep, though. You still have your the 6th level. You find yourself back out of that cavern with the lights. You are in your eyes adjusting in this darkness. You do hear from in front of you, where you can sort of around the corner see this sort of brighter cavern where all the hundreds of feet.
This isn't going well at all. Um. Okay. I have some time before they arrive, correct?
A little bit, but you have to remember they're spread all around the cavern. You've probably got uh, 30 seconds or so.
Okay, 30 seconds is enough. Um, can I try to summon a healing potion? One of my healing potions I've had on me from back in the real world.
You can certainly try, but I mean, let me just. You are you are at the mercy of Ryentalia's will in this place. It is not even a real healing potion. It is you are basically asking Ryentalia to heal you.
I don't want to collapse the roofing, but I will do that if it heals me. If it keeps me in this challenge, I will bring the roof down.
What do you believe Ryentalia's will to be in this place?
I don't know. That's the scariest part at this point. I've only gone through this once. I'm not even sure about what to do from here. A part of me doesn't want to kill all these big... Like, I don't want to kill these creatures.
What would Ryentalia's test be? Do me an insight check.
Thank you. Because I am at a loss. Come on.
Tough to read. You're dealing with alien. You're dealing with alien creatures. You're dealing with a divine sword. Go with your instincts, buddy.
Okay.
What do you? Well, here. Do you want to talk it out some? We can take a second and talk it out.
I'll take a second to talk it out some. So Ryentalia has brought me back to the world. I have communicated with guests of honor in the civilized world, whereas Ryentalia wants to shine her light down on everyone, but the light is very harmful to a lot of creatures. These creatures have had a discussion. They're not very happy with Ryentalia. They see me as a massive threat that there is no way to talk to, and I am surrounded on all fronts as the glassiest cannon I know, and I'm out of options other than retreat or to bring the roof down and to basically kill them all. Those are my. I'm not too sure where to go from here as a human being. She wants me to suffer, I guess. Like, she does want me to suffer, in a way. I don't know. This is the new point. The difficulty of the running through on the surface. Basically, will against will to make it to that sun, and then it was the going from will to will, then to actual physical burning, and lacerations down the ledge, to then this social encounter that would completely and utterly break into life or death combat at the even slightest hint of Ryentalia being seen or mentioned. And what to do in that encounter, which makes it hard to understand what to do. I mean, if I suffer, slaughter, or sacrifice, that's a good point, Paolo. Okay.
What do you want to do? You've got about 30 seconds. We'll say we paused in that you hear the patter of feet around you. You are just around the corner from the
Okay.
cavern that you were in. Getting back there, would not be difficult to sprint back into that place. If you wanted to do that, or if you wanted to try to run and hide, in this cavern that is their domain, you certainly can try. See how long you could survive.
In the cavern that I've gone into, I'm going to throw a blade barrier. I'm going to block that off completely with the swirling blades of the sphere.
You don't have a spell left, do you?
Oh, it's a 6th level spell.
Oh, I thought you had Scatter as your 6th level spell.
Well, that's a weird thing. We never really put down what's going to be what, because you did say to take blade barrier as the thing, as the what's called. It's a very confusing thing.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you choose as the 6th level spell as a warlock, it's that spell. It's not a 6th level spell slot.
Yeah.
I thought you had used it as Scatter before, but maybe it was just you were using Scatter as at 5th level.
So, yeah. I'll throw... Yeah, don't worry about Scatter. I'll throw blade barrier up to protect.
Hey, thanks for the raid!
This is all gonna go so well. I got shit. I'm gonna
Ooh, Fernando's got something. Yeah, Mystic Arcanum.
Yeah, the Mystic Arcanum. I'm going to use that. I'm going to block off that exit, the cavern that I've gone into. Basically, just throw that up with blades. I'm going to yell out to them, "Don't get close to me." And I'm going to back away.
You back away, and you see a group of them sort of come up to the blade barrier and stop. I assume, are you doing the whirling blades of Ryentalia and Lysithia and Von Malik? These whirling blades, or not?
I'll just make it Lysithia.
These whirling crescent moons, and they look at that and they look through at you. Still, this hatred in their eyes, barred teeth, claws. And you see that larger one, that the instigator, look to them and start to talk to them and pointing left, right, up, around. And you see them start to disperse and climb the walls and disappear into the shadows. You've bought some time. But as you look up around you, now not blinded by it, you do see there are nooks and crannies and crevices and tunnels of all sorts that honeycomb this place.
Hey everyone, welcome G4 Gaming. Get ready to see a death. Alright. Are there many creatures out in the cavern beyond still? Or have a lot of them just basically gone honeycomb?
I mean, if you drop the blade barrier, I mean, of what you can see, again, it's sort of around the corner. That cavern where all of the columns of light were and the big main central pool was. You can't see directly into it. You know that if you just stepped through the blade barrier and turned right, you'd be able to see that. There's none immediately on the far side of the blade barrier, though. They have all seemed to head up into the honeycomb structures, and you can even start to hear rocks and pebbles falling behind you and up around your head, as it seems as though they are quickly making their way into the cavern that you've sealed yourself in with your blade barrier.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to risk it. And I'm going to... I need to rest. I'm either going to die or I need to rest. I'm going to... Okay, yeah, I'm going to pull back. I'm going to pull back and run for the chamber that I originated in. Make my way back there.
You begin
dashing as quick as possible, using jump as well to supplement my speed.
You begin to run and jump. Roll me a survival check to see if you can find your way back in this maze-like warren. On a 19, you believe that you're starting to find your way left, right. You hear these people behind you, these creatures. Roll me a dexterity check to see if you can stay at a full dash without falling.
A dexterity check?
Yep. I'm sorry, dexterity saving throw. No, this could be an acrobatics. You want to do acrobatics? That'd be fine. Acrobatics or straight dex.
Can we not? It's a dex save. That was before you said anything. Because there was a delay.
You rolled double nat ones on the d20. You fall and are immediately taken upon by body after body of these creatures as they rip you apart. Doing 70... Wow, I rolled really good. Doing 73 points of damage and just rip you to shreds.
Dead.
You hear the hatred in their chattering, the absolute abject revulsion of what you have brought to their place and brought to their safe place, where their children and their home is. And you find yourself lying face down in your room, thrown from the vision once again. Roll me a hit die. 7. What, if any, permanent mark does this leave upon Vidar as he awakes?
He just has knife mark after knife mark after knife mark.
So, claw, tooth.
Yeah, everything's just leaving its mark.
Yeah.
It's very visible. And then he tries again the next day.
I think we're going to call it there. I'm not sure if I'm up for another one today.
No, that's perfectly fine because, my God, this is I am going to ask Ryentalia, hey, do you mind if we start in the cavern next time?
It's not the way it works, buddy. There are no save points.
This trial can go forever. Oh, all right, cool.
I was going to say, the fun part of this, especially those on the stream, eventually there will be either our good buddy Vidar's maximum hit points will run out and Ryentalia will win, which we are going to probably start doing a lot of these offline, unless we have another day like this.
Yeah.
And so, in case he loses and Ryentalia wins, the party will not know the difference, whether Vidar has won or whether Ryentalia has won. It will look the same to the rest of our players, which is something that me and Kyle talked about. But we shall see. We shall see.
So far, Vidar is down 29 hit points. He is getting close to that goal. There is only so much he can do, and next time I'm going to try for genocide, I guess. I don't know. I've tried to be...
As you wake up, I'll let you find... I will let you have one last insight as you will wake up.
Hard to read. She's a dagger.
She's a dagger.
Not giving me anything.
She's a dagger. Hard to read. Man. Yeah, sorry, dude.
That's the way the dice fall.
They want you to suffer. I can't do anything about double nat ones and just like I can't do anything about the double nat 20s. That actually was pretty cool. Anyway, really cool. Thank you everyone for tuning in for this little special session of The Vice, and hope you enjoy this you know, sort of video game challenge I put together for our good buddy Vidar, both a physical, mental, and social challenge for him to try to figure out and go through. This is only the second time he's made it to the cavern, so this was his second attempt. I thought it went pretty well. Had some good ideas.
Good ideas. We'll try for more next time.
Yep.
I'm Dragons of Cats. You can catch me everywhere on the Twitch and the Twitters as Dragons of Cats, which I'll link in the chat. And hopefully we'll be back next week for another wonderful normal session of The Vice.
And I am Tall Squall. Hope you all enjoyed this. You can find me here, sometimes playing video games. You can find me on Bird's channel, sometimes playing video games. And until next time, gather your friends together and tell a story, because that is what it is all about. And, you know, never make things easy for your players when you can make it hard. Have a great one, everyone. Bye. Wave
Bye.
like you're having fun, but dragons.